All right, looks like I'm live right now. Hey, I'm Jay Little, game designer, and I'm going to give a short little talk. In fact, this is going to be a series of one take talks where I'm just going to talk about different things related to games, game design, and whatever else comes to mind. One take, live, no script, no preparation other than coming up with a topic beforehand. So, since this is the first one that I'm talking about, I figured that I would talk about one of the things that is really, really important early on in the process of game design, for me at least, and that is preparation. There are a lot of different ways now that you can prepare for designing a new game, whether it's that idea that first comes to mind, or even sitting down and struggling with where to get started. Or maybe you just want to come up with something and have absolutely no clue where to start. Well, one good place to start is immerse yourself in stuff. So right now I'm in my office at UW Stout in Menominee, Wisconsin, where I teach video game design as well as board game production. And my entire desk and area is just covered with materials. Like I've got hundreds, if not thousands, of blank cards, lots of expo board markers and things like that. In fact, whiteboards are a lifesaver. I never really know when I'm going to need something to be able to jot down some ideas for any sort of game idea, or if I just get bored, let's just sketch some little people and stuff like that. I don't know, but I keep expo boards with me everywhere. So I've got a small one like that. I've got much longer ones. I've got one in each of the classrooms that I teach. And at home, I have a number of different expo boards. In my basement and in my office, I probably have 7 or 8 of various different sizes and dozens of markers of different colors to be able to work around with. But it doesn't just stop there. I keep lots of miscellaneous bits. So here are some dice and meeples and pieces of different ones. These Stanley Pick-a-Park packs are great too for a lot of different components of different sizes. So these you can get at a Home Depot or someplace like that for relatively inexpensive. They seal really, really well, snap on the sides, and then these pieces inside are come in different sizes, shapes, and can be arranged in a number of configurations. So I've even got, let's see, bags and bags of material. So you can hear that clinking in there. This probably weighs about 15, 20 pounds. And all it is, it's filled with poker chips of different colors that I've just accumulated over the years or had donated to me. So really you need to be prepared and have things nearby so that at any moment you can grab some pieces, play it around with them, and just arrange things in different orders and see if that seems to trigger any ideas. The items that I recommend most, though, are having some blank cards, some dice, maybe a deck of regular standard playing cards, and some whiteboards. Also, make sure that you've got notepads around and something to write with. So in my backpack, in the console of my car, and in all the different classrooms, I have a spiral-bound notebook. I have a number of pens and pencils. I live in the Twin Cities in Minnesota, and it gets a little cold. So sometimes in the winter, pens freeze, the ink freezes inside. So make sure you've got pencils as well. And just be prepared so that when you have that idea, when something comes to you, you've got things you can play around with, you can jot things down. I'm also a big, big believer in Google Docs and Dropbox and other public access places to store my ideas so that no matter where I am, whether I'm on an iPad, whether I'm on my phone, or whether I'm on my laptop, I always can access the different ideas that I have. Now, make sure that you're not trying to write down ideas while you're driving. Now, I've got a pretty long commute, 90 minutes each way, so I spend 3 hours a day on the road. So another great tool to have is to make sure that you've got a microphone set up to record on your phone or other mobile device so that you can talk to yourself and leave yourself notes and then come back later and dictate or at least listen to it kind of like a podcast, jot down the ideas that really appeal to you and go from there. So the first rule to game design for me is to be prepared. You never know when the ideas are going to strike. You're never going to know what, how, or when these ideas are going to come together. So give yourself the opportunity to take advantage of every single idea that comes to you. Have components on hand, have materials on hand to be able to capture those ideas and have fun. All right, so that's all I'm going to talk about for the first time. I wanted to keep it short, sweet, and to the point, but I've got a lot of other ideas to be able to talk about a variety of different game design related topics, conversations, and other things that come to mind. So, hey, who knows? Maybe I'll be having another one of these one take talks in the future. Stay tuned.